It's a very unique race over a very complex course with a lot of obstacles in the way, and it's very tough for navigators, especially going through different weather systems, tough for crews, and it's a very hard race to win. These big fellas, especially Law Connect and Master Lock Comanche, are really going to be setting a breathtaking pace.
And here's the two-time winner alive from Tasmania.
The defending champion.
Blast off. Full speed ahead in the 79th Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race, the 79th edition.
Here's a close cross. Oh, wild thing. We've got to get the keel across, canted across. She's tacked on the port tack lay line now. Master Lock Comanche will go with her. There's the first turning mark. She's got the first job done.
Bragging rights for Law Connect.
She's opened up a nice lead here on Master Lock Comanche, I must say. Whisper with the red protest flag flying. That was the incident with URM.
And up the front of the fleet, it's Law Connect and Master Lock Comanche.
You can see the sail just flapping there, that big A sail. But this is a huge advantage to Master Lock Comanche.
As the 104 yachts head south to Hobart, they emulate the fearless courage of the original 9 crews from the first race in 1945. They continue the legacy in arguably the greatest sailing race in the world. The fleet continued on to Hobart, only to face extremely challenging conditions. Confused seas would deliver some of the most arduous first night conditions seen in the Sydney Hobart in recent years. Following a superb start, last year's overall winner, the 66-foot Tasmanian entry Alive, skippered by Duncan Hine, was forced to turn back with engine problems. And regrettably on the first night, Line Honour's favourite Master Lock Comanche, reporting mainsail damage, was forced to withdraw 63 nautical miles off New South Wales Green Cape, the first time in its 8-year history of Sydney Hobart campaigns. And this year, all sailors will endure a race that will deliver enormous triumphs over adversity, danger, amazing escapes and tragedy.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So you're all aware of this terrible tragedy that has occurred where we've lost 2 crew members in 2 separate incidents. We have offered support to the families. The whole of the sailing community is saddened by this. It's a closely knit community, and so they will be feeling this very strongly. Some of you may have heard that there was a man overboard. Fortunately, the boat was able to retrieve Luke, and he is well and healthy and he's fine.
The Rolex Sydney Hobart covers 628 nautical miles from Sydney Harbour to Sullivan's Cove in Hobart and is one of the most admired and respected races on the global yachting calendar. Charting the best course for the uniquely changing conditions, strategy plays a part as navigators hunt for every advantage down Australia's east coast. Setting a cracking pace following her turn south to Hobart, Law Connect looked likely to repeat last year's Line Honours victory and powered through the severe conditions that hit the fleet on the first night that would continue to force early retirements. Racing the clock for a new race record, Law Connect's Christian Beck, who had his doubts from the start, entered the fickle winds of the River Derwent to finish just after 2:30 the following morning.
Here she is, well in the river and making very good progress. Amazingly, there's people down here at the dock waiting to welcome her home, and Hobart never lets you down. It's a fantastic welcome. I mean, it's the welcome that everyone really appreciates, especially overseas yachtsmen. When they get here, they cannot believe it. She's been racing 1 day, 13 hours and 27 minutes. Her previous record way back was 1 day, 13 hours, 31 minutes, so she'll be pretty close to that. And I'm sure there's some warm feelings amongst the crew that they've got the job done through a pretty horrendous first night and reasonably tough yesterday. But here we are in Hobart on a very cool morning at just before 2:30 a.m. local time. And looks as though they're just going into attack here at Gordon. They're getting onto starboard tack. That earlier shot showed that they weren't quite laying the finishing line, and this tack would prove that. They're going onto starboard to come in a little closer, obviously, to the finishing line now.
What a feeling, what an exhilarating feeling it is now for Law Connect as they steam towards the finishing line at Castray Esplanade.
Well, there the lights of Hobart Town look bright and shiny as they approach the finishing line. And now it's just, as they say, plain sailing to the finish.
So great scenes here on the Derwent River as we approach the finishing line in the 79th edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart, and Law Connect is going to join some famous names, the schooner Astor, Bumblebee 4 and Ragamuffin, as a 3-time line honours winner of the Great Race South from Sydney to Hobart.
They're laying in on a starboard tack, very close now to victory.
It's around about 1 day, 13 hours and 30 minutes, so they're 5.5 hours faster than last year as we close now. Law Connect is over the line in the Rolex Sydney Hobart for 2024, and the fans around King Pier here supporting. There's a good crowd that's turned out in Hobart, and Law Connect has done it back to back.
I just wanted to say we're very happy to be here, to have our second win in a row. It was challenging conditions, probably the roughest race I've done out of the 11 that I've done. Once the front rolled through, we obviously had a big push from the west, which added another challenge where we had to basically slow down. We weren't without our mishaps, as you saw when we went out of the heads, led out of there, and then we made a rookie error with trying to unfurl the wrong side of the furl, which created a problem. After that, we had to reevaluate, rethink, to think ahead and go from there, and after that it went pretty well.
Now sitting in third place and odds on for first place in the overall win on handicap, Celestial V70 excelled as the expected forecast of a westerly shift in Bass Strait played into their hands. This was perfect weather for the Volvo 70, plenty of wind and strong seas. And whilst hard work for its crew, Celestial V70 was able to achieve some solid distance through the rough sea state.
A race forecast which was challenging, we knew that. It was conditions which suited this type of boat, so we were quite pleased, I suppose. We gave ourselves a chance with the type of sailing that we knew this boat was capable of doing with the crew that we have. As it unfolded, it favoured the boat enormously to have those type of conditions. It's an ocean-going boat. The stretch across Bass Strait was the most difficult for us and positioned the boat really well, but it was very hard. We have a yacht that's powering at a high speed because it's built for that type of sailing, and the amount of water coming over the deck, it spears through waves, it doesn't skip across them that much, it just takes it all on. So for our experience, yeah, it was absolutely blasting. Just so much joy, I suppose, of being able to perform at that level and hold that trophy once more.
Look here. Look here.
Sailing into the second day, the expected southwesterly change would bring noticeable relief to the many yachts who are yet to encounter Bass Strait. Whilst some crews elected to head east away from the rum line in search of more favourable winds, the leading group of yachts were benefiting from lighter conditions rounding Tasman Island and into Storm Bay. Overcoming multiple breakages, Wild Thing 100 faced intense and demanding conditions as she headed east of the rum line, slipping from second to third place. With the top of the mainsail damaged, along with 4 of its battens, and after being hit by winds up to 45 knots, skipper Grant Warrington just wanted to finish the race.
I mean, every year coming to Hobart, it's tough at some stage, but this race was pretty tough the whole way. You know, obviously the first night was pretty heinous, and across the straight was just, very, very boat-breaking kind of conditions. I think it was just before Comanche broke their mainsail battens, we broke all of ours. A third of our mainsails all shredded. But look, we had a great result this year, so we're very happy to be in Hobart.
Rupert Henry had a relentless final day to keep the Lombard 34 Mistral on edge, and as she approached the final 11 nautical miles from the River Derwent's Iron Pot, Mistral was amazingly set to finish in 9th place overall, taking out double-handed IRC for the 3rd year in a row.
We got a park up last night and lost a lot of ground. We had quite a good gap on the double-handed fleet, and then the weather didn't work out quite well for us just off St Helens, and they closed right up again, so we had a nervous and hard-working day. We've got similar skill sets. Contan is far more experienced than I am, because he's a professional sailor and he's one of the, very well-renowned.
First of all, I was really happy to race the Sydney Hobart. So winning is a cherry on the cake. Arriving here is incredible, so yes, maybe it was too perfect for the first time.
2024 marked a milestone for women competing, with Annika Thompson's Ocean Crusaders Jaybird and Stephanie Kerrin's Active Again leading the growing contingent of 135 women sailors, over 12% of competitors. Annika demonstrated exceptional skills in securing her 3rd consecutive win for the Jane Tate Memorial Trophy, awarded to the first female skipper to finish the race.
This year I had 2 other females on boats over 50 footers that I had to look out for, and keeping Steph on Active Again behind me was my first priority, and they did well to try to sneak up on us, but we've managed to hold them behind us.
This has been my 4th Hobart, so they've all been challenging in different ways. The first one we didn't finish, but the second one was my first Jane Tate, and I think that wasn't something that I was necessarily looking to do, but that's a little bit of icing on the cake. And this is the 4th race we've done, and this has been one of the best crews that we've actually had that we've put together, and credit to the crew because they've pulled it all through. So really happy with everybody to make it happen for us. So yeah, you've got to trust your crew and go with it.
Importantly, the continuing legacy of the Jane Tate Memorial Trophy continues to inspire a new generation of women sailors to strive for sailing participation and excellence.
Not only we've got 135 women, but we've got short-handed crews of women. We've got fantastic navigators, female navigators on the big boats as well as the smaller boats. So it's been just wonderful to see I'd say a fairly rapid increase in women's participation in yacht racing, both inshore and offshore, particularly these long offshore races. And I know it will only get better and better.
Oh, amazing, Ben. Honestly, we saw up to 40, 45 knots. We had winds that were on the nose. We were had winds down our backside. Like we had everything. Then right up at the dirt when we had, we were racing against Fruit Sailors, so it really was neck and neck. Like we didn't know who was going to win then. But no, an amazing experience. Yeah.
You going to be back again?
Of course. Yeah, next year. Of course.
With an impressive group of international yachts competing, the 79th Sydney Hobart has drawn interest from around the globe. The 6 strong contenders include French entry Cockatoo, winner of Division 3 IRC, the brand new Bacchanal, built in Nowra and heading back to the USA, the Philippine Centennial 7, the 2022 race winner TP52 Celestial, Antipodes out of Hong Kong, Pulpito from New Caledonia, and New Zealand's Caro, first in IRC Division 1.
The last 20 miles was great, a really good breeze, and coming into here doing 20 knots was fantastic from the arm pot. So, but no, hard work. The team did a fantastic job, and not enough to win on the handicap, but very much a race for the Volvo 70. So it's just how it is.
I come from France, and the journey was about 18,000 miles. We have a local navigator. The first navigator is Alexis Loison. And the second navigator is local, because we believe that it's a good idea to have local guys, local sailor, to if we have some questions, surely they should help us.
Hey! We've cracked the 20.
So the wind increased last night and the temperature decreased. Powering along really nicely. Yeah, welcome to Tassie.
Hoping for favourable winds, the smallest boat in the fleet was Kismet. Skipper Sean Langman had been confident of being a serious contender in this year's race, and 2024 marks Langman's first time as a competitor in the double-handed division, along with friend and colleague Peter Inchbold. As seasoned sailors, each having 32 Sydney Hobarts behind them, they're giving Kismet the best chance she can have. Among the other smaller yachts are Roaring 40 and Quantock. Important decisions and smart choices make for dramatic sailing in the Sydney Hobart, with all yachts endeavouring to finish by New Year's Eve. This race is about arriving in good shape and keeping everything under control. And of course, the finish is always the best part. Man overboard, the most terrifying circumstance in ocean sailing. In pitch black skies and stormy seas, this impending tragedy was ultimately avoided in a well-coordinated rescue by the quick reactions of the crew of Tasmanian yacht Porco Rosso. Activating his emergency locator beacon, Tasmanian sailor Luke Watkins was able to provide his crew his location to find and successfully retrieve him.
Really just reflecting on the professionalism of the crew and how well they responded to it. An enormous sense of relief. We came down a huge wave At the bottom of that wave was another wave that you can't see in the dark, so you can't anticipate, and that slammed us sideways and then into a jibe. The boat was soaked in water. 3 people were washed backwards, Luke overboard, 2 jammed under the back rail. It was only a few minutes later that we realised that Luke wasn't with us, when he'd actually set off his emergency beacon, and the navigator said, "Where's Luke?" And yeah, the crew just got things done as quickly as they could, but a great sense of relief to be able to deliver Luke back home to his family safely.
Moorconnect, Christian Beck. Celestial V70, Sam Haynes. From the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. Chutzpah, Bruce Taylor. Cocody, Richard Fromentin from France. Mr. Rupert Henry. Love and War. Clockwork. Bill Hedson. Warrington Drumfire. Just Barma. Scott Lovell. Navy 1, the Royal Australian Naval Sailing Association. Mistral, Rupert Henry and his famous French co-skipper, Corentin Duguay. At the Seamanship Award, the Rani Trophy goes to Porco Rosso.
We're very excited to be the winners of the Tattersall Cup for the second time, and from my point of view, I think the one thing I would like to say is, we obviously had a boat that was ideal for the conditions were ideal for the boat, and it gave us what is an historic win on time. But the thing that I have as my best asset for all my sailing has been my crew.
Connect is over the line in the Rolex Sydney Hobart for 2024, and the fans around King Pier here supporting. There's a good crowd that's turned out in Hobart.
The 2024 Sydney Hobart Yacht Race is proudly supported by Rolex, the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, Transport for New South Wales, Events Tasmania, Tasports, City of Hobart, Devil's Corner, Carlton and United Breweries, Doubletree by Hilton, Hobart, Sail Media, Gravity Media, 9 Wide World of Sports, and Hype TV. Race organisers, the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia, would like to thank all partners of the 2024 Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race.